Hi, and welcome to NerdNotes for the week ending April 25th, 2015. This week was a pretty exciting week in the nerd world if you're a big fan of Batman. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Batman, but um, I did read a few, I read Batman for a little while there in the late 80s and early 90s when some very interesting things were happening, and it does make the news this week that much more interesting to me. The first thing we saw, of course, last week we had the Batman versus Superman teaser trailer, which it pretty excited me pretty much because Batman, played by Ben Affleck, between the costume and his stature and portrayal, really seems reminiscent of The Dark Knight Returns and Frank Miller's Batman. So that's pretty exciting. That was one of the books that I really liked, and that's probably kind of the beginning of the period when I started reading. Is all of the hype surrounding The Dark Knight Returns. I picked that up, back in '86, read it, and from for a couple years after that, I remember reading Death in the Family, The Killing Joke. Some of the Batman trades, especially some of the graphic novels and the bigger volumes that were being released during those times. So I was really excited about that, and if you actually go to the blog, I did post a comparison of this one particular scene from the Batman v Superman trailer compared to a scene in The Dark Knight Returns, and it was I really think that they're going to be borrowing heavily from The Dark Knight Returns in tone and possibly even some of the scenes. So hopefully, I'm really starting to look forward to this Batman v Superman movie. But that was last week, and this week we have two other events that happened with Batman. The first was actually they were pretty much simultaneous. The first was that we got our first look at Jared Leto's Joker, or Jared Leto. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but we got the first look of his Joker that he'll be playing. One of the funniest things I saw was an image that someone had put together a photo of Marilyn Manson and a photo of Lil Wayne and said Marilyn Manson plus Lil Wayne equals, and then had a photo of Jared Leto's Joker. So that was pretty funny. It's interesting. There's a lot of people that like it, a lot of people that hate it. Personally, I like it. To me, even though it's something very different from what we've seen in the past from the Joker, it's to me it captures a bit of that tone from The Killing Joke. And The Killing Joke, if you haven't read it, was just a great Batman story, a phenomenal Batman story. So I definitely would recommend picking that up. I actually have my copy here, which is I believe a fifth printing. It's definitely not the original. I did have the original, but it was one of the comics that I lost over the years, and so I just had to buy a reprint because I love the story. Very brutal and unlike anything that came before it. The next thing is that Frank Miller announced on, DC Comics announced, and then Frank Miller also confirmed on Twitter that he will be writing and drawing the third segment in the Dark Knight Returns trilogy, which will be released next year in 2016. And I'm a little bit more, a little bit more cynical about this one. The first sequel, The Dark Knight Strikes Again, was not really. It definitely didn't capture the same. It wasn't the same as the first. Obviously, there's a bit of progress and it's part of a bigger vision, but it just the original Dark Knight Returns was something very different from this, and I think there might be a little bit of a problem when you take it out of the context. When the Dark Knight Returns first came out, there was nothing else like that at the time, and it completely changed the way that people saw Batman. It definitely was inspired Tim Burton and his vision for the Batman movies that he directed. I think it was a major inspiration on Christian Bale's version of Batman, the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, and it definitely kind of sparked the fire that came afterwards in the next couple of years with these harder edged Batman stories. But since then, when Batman Strikes Again came out, you know, we've had those harder edge stories now for 20 years, so it's not quite the same impact. And I think that may have been why it suffered a little bit. And so, I'm gonna I'm gonna reserve any kind of judgment until we actually see what Frank Miller brings with The Dark Knight 3, which is subtitled. I didn't mention this earlier. It's subtitled. It's Dark Knight 3: The Master Race. So I'm interested to see what's going to end up happening with that. I'll probably almost definitely pick it up when it comes out, and maybe I like it, maybe I don't. I'm sure I'll let you all know when it happens. So with that, that's all of the news I want to talk about this week. So hit please if you like this video, or if you want to hear more about different subjects related to comic books, sci-fi, wrestling, anything I kind of decide to talk about that week. Go ahead and please subscribe to this channel, and pay a visit to my blog at clutterstuff95zine.wordpress.com. The link is also in the information for this video. So please take a look. I post there far more often than I'm going to make videos, so you can get you can see a little bit more there. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and hope to see you next time. Bye.